Greetings and salutations, this is Hugh Jarsz, the biggest YouTuber ever! And good evening, Jarsholes. Not good morning as it normally is, recently at least, but we have a good evening edition of it's not the Daily Jarsz today, is it? It's just a special show to watch SpaceX hopefully lift off this massive penis-shaped thing. And the question on everyone's lips is, which one of these engines is going to go first? I'm going to take. Do you want to take a lotto on this or some sort? Who's got who can nominate the engine that'll go first? Come on, give me in the chat, and I'll record what it is, and we'll see what it is later on. The chat's gone quiet. Oh, there we go. Peter Collins says E7. Tuss says E19. Clive, do you have something? Have a guess, mate. Have a guess. And Todd, you're here too. E23 for Clive. What about you, Todd? Which engine do you think will go first? A massive steam explosion. Well, that's every time I live stream, really. Especially if I've had a Vindaloo. Or several. Come on, Todd. Well, while we're waiting for Todd to make up his mind, let's have a look at what SpaceX are doing. Oh, E33. All right. Let me kill this. Oops, that's what that's not what I wanted. Come on, computer, do what I want you to. There we are. No, SpaceX aren't streaming yet. So in that case, I'm going to show the everyday astronaut without the sound, and hopefully that'll sort of get around the copyright issue. But as you can see, we're 25 minutes from launch or so. It's the earliest it'll launch, of course. There's usually holds and all sorts of things. It could be a while before this happens, but it's going to be spectacular. It's very early morning. It's, what is it now? 6:35 in the morning at Boca Chica, just across the border from Mexico. And looks like it was a beautiful sunrise. I'm surprised they're allowing pleasure craft on the water there. You can see here there's some police lights going on, holding people back. Do these look like campers? I'm not quite sure what's there. But yeah, that shows the whole setup for it. There's not a lot there to destroy. Oh, Todd's changed his mind. Oh, sorry, it was Tuss that said E33. It's Todd saying E11. All right, we'll go with that one. And that's only 4 people. There's another 2 people in the chat somewhere who's hiding. Come on, there's no need to be shy. Come out and not hide. Thing with this one is if they're anywhere near successful and they get to rocket separation, the booster's going to come back and Mechazilla's going to grab the booster. That's going to be fantastic if they can do that. I want to be able to see that. I'm more interested in seeing that than seeing the Starship 25 getting into orbit. I was supposed to have a couple of guests today, but they haven't shown up yet. They all said yes enthusiastically. Maybe they're not out of bed yet where they are. Let me see if I can pull them up. Oh, hang on. Yes, just got one message from one. And will he find the invite? So he should be joining me soon, I think. Oh, Greg's going for G6. I'll put that up again for you. So which of these engines do you think is going to go first? FE Peer Review. G'day, how are you? So Greg wants, is there a G? No, there isn't a G6. Ah, you trickster. If you got a real guess, Greg, let us know. And how many of the engines are going to go is probably another question. Remembering that most of them went, the ones that went last time were because the launch pad blew up underneath the rocket, basically. Rocks came back and knocked them out. So probably not going to happen so much this time. At least you bloody well hope they've fixed that, because it's not going to work unless they do. All right, let's go back to the everyday astronaut. He's saying some really good stuff. I don't discourage you from watching his video, but if you want to watch the Hugh Jarsz look at it, stay where you are. And is SpaceX? No, they're not. SpaceX aren't showing anything yet. God, they're slack. I wonder if that's a bad sign. FE Peer Review is going for E5. All right. What was that noise? Oh, right. It's where's Wally telling me that it's the launch is live on X. But it's also live here on YouTube on the Hugh Jarsz channel. In fact, I better tell Wally to get his ass in here. Tell you what, everyday astronauts got a good little thing going there. 1.5 million subscribers. People were giving him super chats for $300. Wow, you know, $300. It's hard to comprehend. Who's got that sort of money just lying around just to give to a guy because you like what he does? I mean, tips in casinos in the high rollers room don't go that high. I thought all numbers were associated with astrology. So where are we at? We're under 20 minutes now. So what they're probably doing is putting propellant in the tanks. They don't want to do that for too long because a rocket is basically a bomb, a controlled bomb. So if they fill it up and leave it there for too long, bad things happen. What does Elon Musk call it? A rapid unplanned deconstruction. I wish he'd changed the scene. How's SpaceX going? No, SpaceX aren't showing anything yet. Come on. Oh, Wally's here, but he's not connected. So I can't add him to the stream yet. Wally always has trouble adding to the stream. I think he just wants to listen. All right, we'll leave him there. You can listen on YouTube as well. I get a view that way. So if you want to join and talk to me, Wally, I'd love that. Oh, they're venting some stuff there. The pressure's got too high. So that means that tank's full, I hope. Just a release valve. As the sun rises, the temperature is going to rise as well, of course, and that might cause some problems. That's why you'll get some venting. Shouldn't be enough to bother the rocket getting into orbit or anything like that. And this is the only rocket capable of getting me anywhere near space. Probably wouldn't get me all the way, but it'd get me close, I think. Maybe 3-4 Ks up. but they're not coming down like the asteroid that destroyed the dinosaurs. Clarence, yep. I'm meaning to ask you, Clarence, what's the AS2 mean in your name? But yeah, Hugh Jarsz lift-off stream. Yes, I had several vindaloos, so I'm about to lift off. Actually, I just realised I'm not subscribed to the Everyday Astronaut. I better change that. There we go. What would my mass be when I hit Earth from that height? The same as it was at the top of the height. Duh. And of course, it's just quite amazing to me that first think this is a big balloon and it just gets released and floats up. Angel second class. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I thought it might have been a military rank. I guess it's kind of a military rank. Wally, if you can hear me, say something in the chat. I can see you there, but I can't add you. Anthony Riley. Oh, there he is. Yes. All right, cool. Good to see you, Wally. Hope everything's good where you are. Yes, Anthony Riley. Why did he raise his head again? And him mixed with Flatsoid of all people? It's like a singularity of dumb. Just curious, how does it compare and link to our larger blimps? Well, I'm probably one of those larger blimps. I'm not sure. Let's have a quick look. How big is the Goodyear? How long is the Goodyear blimp? Is the largest blimp, maybe? Um, 245 meters or 804 feet. That's the Hindenburg. So what's that? 2.5 football fields, basically. Flatsoid is stealing Oakley's fan base. Well, he's a little less repulsive than Oakley, but he's just as dumb. And he's just as... How do you describe it? What's the word that describes someone who just... Well, I don't think Flatsoid is an intentional grifter. He's definitely arrogant. Well, he's South African. It just comes with being South African. At least in my experience, other people might have. In fact, I found there's two types of South Africans. There's the complete prick and the most wonderful people you could ever meet. Guess which Flatsoid is? He's not the shouty, sweary Oakley sort of person. But he'll if you say anything that might challenge his world, he's not going to be nice to you. Yes, Toon's live streaming the launch as well. He's entitled to do that, of course. Fucking parasite. Yes. Well, I don't know what to say to that. Yes, Toon's entitled. No, I wasn't saying Toon was a fucking parasite. I was reading Tusk's comment that's saying that Fartsoid was. Whoever Fartsoid might be, of course. Yes, where was I going with that? Oh, yes, Toon's entitled to live stream it as well. I'm sure other people are doing it as well. But how many people have I got, despite all that competition? I can't see it now. How many are watching? 15. That's not bad, given the competition. Thank you very much for joining me here at the Hugh Jarsz Experience. Now, the guest I was hoping to have, apart from Wally, of course, was, anyone from the Wolfpack. I gave them the invite, but Dead Kennedy in Space, otherwise known as Kevin Kennedy. We've been talking about doing things together for a long time, and it's never quite happened, and he said he was coming to this, but I don't know where he is. He's got the invite. He's acknowledged it. I'm not sure what more I can do. I hope he does join us because I would really like to talk to him. It makes it easier if you've got someone to talk to. What are we looking at there? Is that a chemtrail? Oh, speak of the devil. It's Dead Kennedy in space.
Hello. Can I be heard?
Yes, the silver voice coming out of your mouth is music to my ears. How are you?
Pretty good, thanks. How are you?
All right. This is the first time we've spoken directly before.
Are you sure?
Oh, we might have talked on the show. Yeah.
I was thinking on the shills maybe, yeah. But it's been a while at the very least.
Yeah. You've had a few things in your life. I've had a few things in my life.
Indeed.
So yes, that's life, and here we are, watching this great big candle about to be lit.
And we're on Everyday Astronaut stream. Alrighty. Perfect.
Well, I was hoping to do the SpaceX one, but they don't seem to be getting their act together.
Oh.
Unless I'm. Let me try and click it again. Hang on, that's the Starlink mission. That's already gone up, I thought. Learn more.
I've got it here on Twitter.
Yeah, it's on Twitter. Oh, here we go.
But as a reminder, today is a test. We really hope to get to stage separation, but any
so
data
the SpaceX stream is just an embedded X stream.
Second of many future flight tests of Starship before it becomes fully operational.
Turn this down a bit.
These flight tests teach us about the limits of
Here we go.
design. They help us.
I think we can talk over that now.
Ultimately, will help us.
Yes, congratulations on your 100K views on your Space Shuttle Iceberg.
Thank you so much. I really did not expect it. I knew it was going to do well. I didn't think it was going to do that well.
Why do we need
well, it's obviously a heck of a lot of work, so I'm really impressed with that. So well done.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And you deserve the 100 views.
Spacecraft.
Lourdes probing time is here as well. One thing I want to ask you, Kevin, which of the engines do you think is going to go first? Blow up first is what I mean.
I saw this on Twitter a while ago, and I brazenly posted just the exact same image back, and I said none. It's going to go perfectly, which I don't necessarily believe, but I can't say which one. I'm going to say E26 or E15.
Often, a Starship rapidly evolves to become more capable and more reliable.
The first stop is our nearest neighbor, with a surface that hasn't seen visitors in more than 50 years.
So what's your prediction for the whole flight as a whole? Is it going to be the same as last time, where it just tumbles over and over until they blow it up, or are they going to get separation, or is it going to blow up on the launch pad? Are we going to see the booster land? What do you think?
I think it'll get further than last time. I'm hoping for at least basically, as long as the engines on the ship ignite, I think that's a great sign. I think if it gets to there, that's huge progress. And if it gets to there, the odds are pretty good that it'll make it the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And then the question of re-entry is kind of up in the air.
Well, yes. Well, I thought it's an RUD, isn't it, for re-entry?
Now, in the years to come, Starship
Rapid unplanned disassembly.
Figures as we bring it online. And
do they plan on tearing apart or intentionally tearing it apart on re-entry, or I thought they were just going to water land it?
Why don't we get another status update?
Well, the booster's going to land. At least that's what I understand. But Ship 25 is not going to land. It's just going to burn up on re-entry and crash into the ocean. That's what they said for the first flight. So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do the same this time.
Most recently, we began loading LOX and methane fuel.
Soft land in the water. Where's Wally says?
On the graphic on
For
the
Ship
left side
25, I'm not sure.
of the
Yeah.
nose of the
The other thing I
second
find
stage
odd is
are
that
those two header tanks for fuel
they-
and hot and
they're
green.
planning on, this is Ship
And that
25.
loading
It's never
started at
flown
T-24
on its own
minutes.
power at all, whereas they
Continued
tested all
until
ships
approximately
8, Ship
T-minus
10,
5.5
Ship
minutes.
16, but Ship
A
25 has
person
never
second
flown.
stage main
So
True.
fuel
how do they know it'll
tanks
get any
are
further?
loaded for flight.
True. It's been static tested, right? I would assume so.
Sure,
It
sure.
comes out on the arm that's
But,
located
you know, you think you'd take it out for a test drive, wouldn't you?
You'd think, but
Super heavy booster
I
propellant
don't
loading
know.
will continue until T-minus 3 minutes.
That's going to be
We've
interesting,
also
though.
configured the pad for
Oh,
liftoff
look, they're
a
filling
little
up with
earlier in the
fuel.
count. The
Mhm.
hold down.
Oh, it's
the
getting
booster
very
head
frosty.
counts commanded to
Yes.
unlatch. That means once the rocket
Yes, people
has
think
sufficient
it's
thrust
painted
to
white, but it's
overcome
not.
its
They
weight,
don't paint them
it'll
and they
lift
don't
off the
clean
pad.
them.
There's no
When they
need to
come back,
command the
they're
whole
covered in
gas to
soot,
release the rocket.
and they go white because of the
As we
frost on
mentioned
them.
earlier also, the ignition
Did you happen to see what Leo said about this very phenomenon?
Pantomime?
As a reminder,
Yeah,
Bosch?
he was comparing pictures of it was, what was it, Luna 25, the one that recently crashed, and he was showing pictures of the Soyuz rolling out, and it's kind of a black grayish color, and then he shows it on the pad and he goes, look, it's a completely different model rocket, it's gone whiite.
Yes. And Where's Wally did a video pointing out to him, no, it's just frost. It's just like a frosty beer glass, Leo, you know?
Yeah. Happens on every cryogenic launch.
Yes.
In the next few minutes.
And as I was saying earlier, they don't want to leave it like this for very long because a rocket is essentially a bomb that's released in a controlled way.
Mm-hmm.
And everything under pressure and everything, you don't want to leave it like that for too long.
No.
Under 7 minutes now. Ooh, getting exciting. Do you think we're going to launch in 7 minutes, or there'll be several holds and it'll be another half an hour or whatever? They got a 20-minute launch window, apparently.
I'm not sure. I'm so used to NASA doing, pardon me, a hold at like T-9 or something, but we're well past that.
Yeah. I think the last one's at 40 seconds or something like that. The last hold. Oh, 90 seconds, he's saying. Okay.
We need to hold. It would come at T-minus 40 seconds.
Oh, 40 seconds.
Okay.
We can pause to wait for final checkouts or pressurization to complete.
Wow, that feels awfully late to call a final hold.
A few boats in the area.
Well, you can pull the pin and deflate the balloon, I guess, easily enough.
Yeah.
We must have passed a hold point because just hearing cheering from the control room. So, the turtle move says the arrowhead will embed itself in the firmament.
Amazing views.
Of course it will.
It's nothing quite right like a launch at basically sunrise.
And if they do bring the booster back, I presume Mechazilla is going to catch it, and that's going to be fantastic to watch. That's an incredible piece of engineering if they pull that off.
It is. It's a little scary, just given the potential consequences if something goes wrong, but it is a very ambitious plan.
Yeah, it's very ambitious. Ambitious is the word. From a danger point of view, the fuel tanks will be nearly empty by that point, so it's not going to sort of like blow up on the pad or anything. But it could sort of knock over the entire tower or something like that if they get it wrong, and that puts them back a bit.
On the first stage are still lit, so essentially both stages will be making fire at the same time.
True, we're not going to be seeing N1 launch number 2.
Stages. So that's the primary goal for today. We really hope to be able to test.
Oh, the booster, as Wally says, the booster will go splash
any data that we can collect
this time. Chopsticks in future landings.
All
right. So that's a shame. I was hoping we'd see it this time. It's better be next year before we see the third flight, I guess.
There are other objectives for today too, assuming
depends how well this one goes.
Farther than stage separation.
This one's been a while. It's been about. Sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, this one's been a while because the first one was about 6 months ago from memory, and that's because they had to rebuild the launch pad because remember those scenes of concrete flying and hitting cars and all sorts of.
Oh yeah, the back of NSF's van just got annihilated.
Imagine the insurance claim on that one, yeah. Oh, I just parked it out at Boca Chica and this big lump of cement landed on it. Declined.
Oh yeah, I think if I remember correctly, I think he had to sign something from SpaceX saying we can't guarantee the safety of your vehicle this close.
And that soft water landing, like you said,
probably Elon said, "Oh, I'll reach down the back of my couch. Here's some money for a new car. Get yourself a Lamborghini or something."
Like we did with the Falcon 9.
I like that scene. You got the beach in the background.
That's really nice looking.
We got
and the sunrise coming up. That was about as far as not getting closer to you, just coming up.
So that's the first and foremost objective today. Get that far, hopefully.
Where's Wally says it was 420 for the previous launch. There's no 20th month, Wally.
Falcon 9 is we can actually hold if we needed to than we can on Falcon 9 missions. Once we get to T minus 40 seconds.
Ooh, 3 minutes.
If we did have
getting
hold,
exciting.
Depending on the reason for the hold, we can hold for up.
So what do people think in the chat? How far are we going to go this time?
Actually, our entire launch window is about 20 minutes, so the whole duration would cover.
I've got 14 people. That's a lot more than I expected, given Toon's doing a simultaneous show. So
we have to go.
Well done. Thank you, Jarsz, for joining me.
That 40-second hold is super helpful. If we
They're
need
my
to,
souls.
for example, we need more time to pressurize the COP.
2.5 minutes.
Levels.
How old are you, Kevin, by the way, if I may ask? Or
I am 34.
What's the earliest space memory you have? Might be a better way of putting it.
I'm 34, and the odd thing is I didn't get very much into space until somewhat recently. And my first kind of real space-related memory, very sadly, was watching the final docking of Shuttle Endeavour to the ISS on STS-134 in 2011.
So it's
wow,
a little bit different.
that's very late. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, it's a 30-year life, but
just inside
yeah,
T-2
it makes me feel old. My first
was
memory
just,
is.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
My first memory is Apollo 11.
Wow, that's cool. Wow, I do wish I could have been alive to see that.
I was just a kid, 5 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Just turned 5, actually. And I don't remember the actual moon landing specifically.
90 seconds,
one small step and all that. But I do remember them coming back and he buttering some toast and it just floating around. And I was thinking, how's he doing that?
Start complete. Next major event we're going to hear, hopefully, is the flight director go for launch at T-minus 30 seconds.
Let's listen for that.
That'd be the final go, I'm guessing.
We're getting close.
As we're coming up,
so 40
on
seconds.
1 minute.
What we're going to watch out for.
Get to T-minus 40 seconds. We'll just listen in. Last time, as you recall, we did hold at 40 seconds, but it took a few seconds for the clock to recover. So we're going to watch that.
So Clarence says it'll rise 1 foot and flop over in a cartoon fashion, and Clyde Davis says it'll go all the way fine.
The duality of man on display right there.
Yeah. So 40 seconds. Well, they're yelling, but the clock hasn't started. There it goes. Right.
Hey.
We're going.
Wow. It's I honestly kind of expected that's like I thought there was a good chance that today might scrub. Oh, we're back up at 41 and holding. I had to say it, didn't I?
Yeah. The weather looks good, so there's nothing wrong there. And deathly silence.
Oh, wow.
Back at Hawthorne, we're at T-minus 40 seconds in holding. We had a rapid recycle. We've not heard anything over the countdown net as the team works both first and second stages. We're going to monitor the nets here for a minute.
I'll turn up the volume for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Want to hear what they say.
Come on. You can do it, Starship. I believe in you.
Got a little bit of an update.
Oh.
We're continuing to hold at T-minus 40 seconds. This is the normal hold point for Starship, as we talked earlier. Sounds like we're working just late pressurization on, I believe, the second stage. Team is working it. All the other systems are on hold right now at 40 seconds. We can hold here for about 15 minutes or so before we would run out of window for this morning. So right now they're working on filling pressure vessels. And ideally we'll be able to solve this and come back and release the clock at T-minus 40 seconds. We're going to continue to listen and monitor for another few minutes.
I see the water there. I'm thinking all the fish don't know what's about to hit them. Oh, the Turtle Move says they forgot to install the Space Mouse.
Ah, of course. No rocket works without it.
Yeah.
then it's worth mentioning here that don't go away. We are holding at T-minus 40 seconds, but once the teams have resolved and see the data that they want to see, the clock can restart straight away and it'll start ticking down from T-minus 40 again, all towards liftoff.
Yeah, exactly. Now, while we do have the ability to hold for up to 30 minutes, we only have a 20-minute launch window. So don't go away. Don't change the channel. And just like Shiva said, we can restart that clock. And there it is.
And there it goes.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
T-minus 30 seconds.
We've got the mouse installed. One thing I find weird about it, this setup, is they've got their fuel tanks right next to where the rocket launches.
That does seem a little worrying, doesn't it?
Yeah. 15 seconds.
10, 9.
All right. Keep your eye on the engines over here. See which one goes first.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Light that candle. Why have you stopped?
Wow. Worst timing.
Leo will say something about that.
Look at her go.
And she's up.
She ripped off the pad.
That's a balloon going up, guys.
All engines are still on.
And the blue sky behind. That's fantastic.
Wow, look at her go.
All of them lit. Yeah, you can see that. Didn't see any chunks of concrete coming up this time.
No.
40 seconds into the flight of Starship. 33 Raptor engines powering the first stage.
Wow.
We've heard
great.
Phenomenal call out. We're heading downrange over the Gulf of Mexico.
1,000 Ks an hour. That's the speed sound barrier, I think. So we're around there. It's 9 Ks up already. Can you believe that? 10 K.
Wow.
In a minute.
A minute later, or a minute earlier, it was on the ground.
Starship is through the
It's a fast balloon, isn't it?
on the way to space.
Yeah.
They switched to
Max
CGI
Q.
just yet.
Now, the next major event is hot staging in just over 90 seconds from now. To get ready, the booster will shut down all but 3 of the Raptor engines. Clamps holding the 2 stages together will release, and the Starship's second stage will ignite its engines. Starship will then separate from the Super Heavy booster and head to space. And at the same time, the 3 engines that are still firing on Super Heavy will flip the booster around. 10 more engines will ignite for the boost back burn, putting the first stage on path for a splashdown in the Gulf of Mexico.
All engines working. This is incredible.
Wow,
This
yeah.
is much better than the first one.
This is so much better. That's a great shot right there.
Yeah. That must be hard to hold the camera and we'll track it anyway. Must be software, of course.
Engine power continues to look nominal on 33 Raptor engines. We're about to shut down the first stage and perform staging. Let's watch and listen.
You can see it's with the telemetry here. It's
Signal Houston and New Orleans.
To match the surface of the Earth because it's going into orbit, you idiots.
All but 3 engines are down.
Yeah.
And come on. We have ignition.
Separation and
Stage 2 ignition.
25
Separation.
works. Woo! And boost back. It's coming back.
Wow, look at that.
Must be hard to get that at all on the camera.
You're hearing the cheering.
86 kilometers, 87 kilometers away.
For SpaceX's Starship.
Incredible views of our Super Heavy booster.
Oh!
Whoa.
And you can see the Super Heavy
Whoa.
booster experienced a rapid, unscheduled disassembly.
That had to be
Our ship
FTS.
is
That had to be
still
flight
underway
termination.
With all 6
Yeah.
Nominal.
I guess they're
And we
just
heard
going to
there,
splash it
ship
down. You
avionics
might as well
power
blow it up.
telemetry nominal. All 6 engines are lit, as you can see from the GUI there at the bottom right-hand side of your
Oh, yes.
screen.
Over here, yeah. This is the Starship engines. They're going well.
Yeah.
Now, we did know that the that hot staging was going to be incredibly dynamic. We knew that there was a chance that the booster would not survive, but we're going to take that data and figure out how we can make the booster better for the next hot stage.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I called that.
On the top of the booster, and of course it flipped around there. A lot of dynamic stuff happening, but ship is still going strong.
And Elon Musk is looking at this and says,
right
well, that's
now,
another $228 million down the drain.
Is on its way. Like we said, you can see all 6 of its engines are ignited. The next major milestone for the ship will be the shutdown of those engines, or SECO, second engine cutoff, which if you follow our Falcon 9 launches, familiar terminology there. So far, today has been incredibly successful, even with the RUD of the Super Heavy booster. This is amazing.
Primary objective of the booster today, to get to hot staging, to get ship on its way to orbit. It did that admirably.
And
yeah, we definitely
everything's running well. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, great news there. That trajectory for ship.
Incredible progress.
Once again, Starship's second stage. It's firing those engines.
10,000
and as you
Ks
just
an hour.
heard, everything's looking good. Now, for the ship, we wanted it to survive hot staging, which, as you can see there by that little dot on your screen, it did. We also want to basically demonstrate that the successful startup of those engines, demonstrating controlled ascent, which is what it's doing right now, and eventually orbital insertion. We are hoping to basically send this around the
in
Earth.
Space now.
And
way
if
past
it
the
makes
Kármán
it this
line.
far, splash down in the Pacific Ocean, a couple hundred miles north of Hawaii. Now, if we get that far, like all of that sounds great. Secondary objectives for ship, again, continuing to gather engine
Kevin, do you
data
have any idea
and
what
about its health,
altitude they're
performance.
planning on orbiting at?
Chamber pressures.
Great
I
news
doubt
there.
it's
That tells us that the chamber
it's probably
pressures
roughly where they are now. I
inside
bet it'll
of
stay below
the
200.
Starship. Again, that's
maybe
that
even
small
below
dot
150.
on your screen. Basically the propellant
kind
of parking
orbit.
in the ship are looking good.
That would make sense. But
Yeah, the
it doesn't
bottom
seem to
right
be at
corner of your
orbital
screen,
speed
you can
yet.
see
No,
this is kilometers, not miles an
user
hour.
interface showing us which
No, but
engines are
from here forward, most of it should be
sea-level Raptor
horizontal
engines on the ship
acceleration.
are gimbaling engines. The 3 outer engines in the triangle, the larger ones, are Raptor vacuum engines. All of them continuing to fire nominally, so they're at the pressures that we expect to try to get into our target trajectory today.
Yeah.
And we're not targeting orbit today. We're targeting almost orbit today. That's
orbit.
very intentional as part of the mission design. The goal is to get to a thrust profile similar to what we would need for orbit, but also
And
to get to the energy levels that the ship would need to dissipate for re-entry. And so we're actually going in a suborbital trajectory today, but that trajectory will get us to
What
the
was
energy that we need at re-entry, where we can really stress that heat shield and get valuable data on re-entry. And those calls that we are still on a nominal trajectory here and seeing nominal pressures means that we have a really good shot of hitting our target orbit.
Yeah.
But it looks like now they're
if
getting up to
the
speed.
booster had survived, we would be around the time where it would be getting ready to land,
27,000 Ks
performing
an hour is,
re-entry, but
orbital.
it unfortunately did not survive. That being said, that's okay. It survived several seconds after hot staging, so we're going to take that data and improve the hot staging sequence and probably improve the hardware itself for the next flight.
That's amazing. The cameras, I can still see it. I mean, it's
150 kilometers
there.
up.
Yeah.
Oh,
It looks like
that's SECO.
Oh, yeah.
Or SECO or RUD.
The engines are off. Yes. I was thinking it was like a thruster or something, but the engines are off. Everyone's gone quiet, though. Does that mean they don't know what's happened?
Telemetry just stopped.
Yeah. And it's not at orbital speed.
No.
This is why they should have taken it for a test drive.
Call out here. Coming up on the projected time that ship would shut down its engines.
Right, so it wasn't SECO.
As you can tell by the excitement from the crowd here at Mission Control Center in Hawthorne, there's a great view of our Star Command Center. That's our control center at Starbase Texas.
Tell us what happened, damn it.
Mission Control Center behind us in Hawthorne. Everyone is super exciting. What a successful day this has been so far.
Very successful. Well done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got a feeling they're not going to get it.
They did mention something about an expected loss of signal at some point, but they continued to have signal for several moments after that.
And they also said,
I mean, up to this point,
they hadn't reached
major
SECO yet.
Successful milestones through hot staging, which was the big objective today.
I bet Elon knows what's happening.
So we are going to head into the coast phase, planned for the next about hour and 5 minutes. We'll be returning around the T+1 hour and 15-minute mark.
Oh my goodness.
And that's while we're waiting for Starship to continue on to its next step for reentry.
That's if it still
We're
exists.
not totally sure what video we're going to get. And that video comes normally by overflying ground stations, but we don't have a ton along our flight path. So fingers crossed that we will get some via Starlink on this mission since we're testing that out.
But they couldn't borrow a few tracking stations from NASA?
And also give us a moment. We are hearing some chatter on the net, so we're going to try to parse that for you.
Just want to see what. Oh, they're just showing SpaceX. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyday astronaut. So.
Wow. Well, that was miles and miles better than the last one.
Yes. Literally.
Which is great news for the Artemis program, really.
Oh yes, yes. Yes, that's also scares me a bit. They sent up the unmanned one successfully, and now they're going to, with just that one test flight, they're going to put people in it for the second one. That to me is a bit scary.
Ooh, I hope not.
Well, yeah, Artemis 2 is meant to be have 4 people in it.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about Starship.
No.
The next Starship flight would be Lunar Starship. It is a little scary, but it's Orion's third test? Artemis 1 was Orion's third test? Because it did 2 before that, right?
The end of the approximately 6-minute burn of Starship.
Sorry, I missed that. I was trying to figure out what he was saying.
Data since then.
Well, it isn't.
The second stage.
It's SLS's second flight, Artemis 2, but it's not Orion's second flight. It did do, I think, one certification test before Artemis 1.
What we do know right now is we had an on-time.
But it's scary given that it's relatively new in terms of like how many times it's launched to put people on it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
the first
the thing that we really
Apollo flight was Apollo 7.
We saw the separation.
Right.
They did, and they were trying to do it as fast as they possibly can. Just throwing things together, basically. Whereas there's no such pressure here.
But what we do believe right now is that the automated flight termination system on second stage appears to have triggered very late in the burn as we were headed downrange out over the Gulf of Mexico.
It's gone.
But the real topping on the cake today, that successful liftoff, Kate, Shiva, the hot staging is just beautiful.
Yeah,
exactly what we.
They're absolutely right. They only needed to get to where it the stage is separated and Ship 25 took off.
Then
it was a successful day. Anything past that is a bonus.
Both the super heavy booster and the ship. That's great. We got so much data, and that will all help us to improve for our next flight.
So if both ships are blown up, I don't think there's much more we can add with the SpaceX feed.
No, I don't think so.
Just turn that off so it doesn't distract us. We can have a bit of a chat, and then we can finish the stream. Yeah. I just wanted to, we were talking about Artemis. I was just thinking there's 18 months between Artemis flights. That's the government, and SpaceX, they do it in 6 months.
Yeah.
And that's when they had to rebuild the launch pad.
Yeah.
And there's private business.
With the single largest rocket in the world.
Yeah. Yes, government versus private always makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm. No, this is great though. Like that was fantastic. I I'm really glad to see that it's made as much progress as it has. I think that's great news for Artemis. And yeah, this has been so much better than the last flight.
Yep, they certainly got. Yes, Wally. They said they had a run of the Ship 25 as well.
They did, yeah.
So yeah, it was great to see though. I mean, last time when you saw it going tumbling, you're thinking, and it didn't feel like it had achieved much, and other than get off the ground, which I guess is something you need to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
But this time you saw it take off, and it got close to orbit. The last telemetry was just 3,000 k's an hour from orbit, so orbital speed. So it did really well.
Yeah, it got really close. The deluge system seems to have worked perfectly. Every single super heavy booster engine was on right up until MECO. Well, until they had those last, 3 of them on for hot staging. But that looks like it went so much better, and the SEP went perfectly. The hot staging itself seemed to go perfectly. It just seemed that the booster didn't quite think so.
Yeah, it's and given they were way past MECO, sorry, not MECO, Max Q, you'd think that the booster would not have enough air there to be a problem. But it is a big object in the air, no matter how much air is there, and to turn it around and fire rockets out the back of it to slow it down. I think it was doing about 4,000 k's an hour then, so that's a lot of speed for that sort of mass as well.
Oh yeah,
so it's generating its own friction, I imagine.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah,
and but with it being so quickly after separation, I have to wonder if the booster terminating, I think it's most likely that it was something during the hot staging that caused it to make that decision. And I kind of said this when they first introduced the concept of hot staging. I said, I understand the reasonings and everything, but the point of Starship is rapid reuse, and I don't see you rapidly reusing a booster that you just fired the engines of the ship above it into.
Yeah. Well, they've designed it so the exhaust will go out the sides and things like that. But what's underneath the top of the rocket there is a tank full of rocket fuel. So you've got to have some pretty serious engineering there. And rockets, they are serious engineering, but they also need to be as light as possible. Otherwise, you reduce your payload. So there's compromises. But this was more, it seemed to be that the other end of the rocket was the problem. But again, there'll be a lot of heat there. And suddenly you're pushing all this cold air onto it. So there might be a massive contraction of the metal, perhaps. And that created a leak, which created an explosion. So I don't know.
That makes sense. I could see that being exactly the case. Yeah, that just the massive temperature changes caused something to rupture in there.
You think they engineered for it, though? It's pure speculation on my part, by the way. Don't pay any attention to what I'm saying. So.
Oh yeah, no, we don't know anything for sure yet.
Yeah. Well, he says what cold air? I guess he's thinks Earth is flat, so the sun is up there and it's warming. It gets warmer as you go up, I guess. Is that what you're saying, Wally? Yeah. It's funny watching these things from a debunker point of view, isn't it? You can pull in things like that. No, where the booster turned around, it wasn't a vacuum there, Wally. Further up it was. We're talking about the booster at the moment, not Ship 25. Yes, Ship 25 was 140 k's up, but it didn't need to turn around. Yep. So what else can we say?
I mean, whether or not the booster was in space or not, there's very few particles in there, but it's also cold due to the fuel left in it, right? It's cryogenic fuel. It's the reason the booster's frosty. And then suddenly you introduce flames to that equation. So you never know. Yeah,
because even if they're going out of the rocket, they're blowing back onto the ship as well. Because they're trying to slow down a big, heavy object. Turtle Moves asks, what are the advantages to hot staging? Interesting question. I'm not quite sure how to answer it.
I mean, it's basically it's loss of thrust compensation. Like on a standard 2 stage, when you during the period between the main engine cutoff and the separation and ignition of the next stage, you lose some thrust because there's no engines firing. But if you keep the first stage's engines firing the whole time, you don't lose that thrust, and you get a little bit more mass to LEO. Basically.
Yeah, you don't slow down. You maintain your velocity as the second stage goes. See you later, FE peer review. In fact, we're going to say see you later for most of you soon. I just want to make sure, Kevin, you got anything else you think you want to say about that, apart from how fantastic they did?
I mean, that's about it. It was fantastic. It was great to see so much progress, and I'm really excited for what comes next and to find out exactly what happened there. Yeah,
I'm sure that'll be all over the internet tomorrow. Well, I guess it's today for you. I'm about to go to bed. In the morning at 9 o'clock my time, which is 2300 UTC, special time. It's normally the Daily Jarsz is at 2000 UTC, but tomorrow it's at 2300 UTC because I have another special guest. So I have Rachie, and we'll ask questions like, is she still a flirt? Which I believe she isn't. But I don't know, Kevin, I think that'll be a bit late for you, won't it? Given that's UTC. Oh, no, that'll be just early evening for you, won't it?
What time is it, sorry?
2300 UTC.
300 UTC for me will be, 6 p.m. That's not bad at all.
Oh, well, join me on the Daily, well, not join me, but listen in on the Daily Jarsz as I talk to Rachie tomorrow. And we must do this again sometime, and we must do some more together, I think. It'd be good to have a chat about a few things.
Absolutely, I agree, for sure.
Yeah, I'm a admirer of your work, and we seem to have been in touch in one way or another for a couple of years now. So it'd be good to sort of do something, a collaboration of some sort.
Absolutely. I'm fully open to that for sure.
Yeah, we'll just have to find the right product. Certainly, when the next launch is up, I'd like you to join me for that as well, if you could.
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Yeah,
and this has been great. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I was about to say thank you very much for coming. It was all a bit at last minute, but I'm very pleased you were here, and it's been great to have a chat with you at long last.
Absolutely.
All right, folks, I think that just about does it. So there's nothing left to do but cue the corgi.
You're disgusting.